which are the primary areas you want to focus in India?
Um, Maybe I believe I can say that we have managed to inject to the Indian market a new product, which is the seaside. Um, all the last few years, we were talking only about the classic tours, about the Cairo, Luxor, Aswan, which is the typically famous and well known in the Indian market. Um Over the last 2 years only, we started to inject to the market the two words of Hurghada and Sharm el Sheikh. Those are the new products that we had to focus and we had to highlight for the Indian market. Uh, I believe without this topping of the pizza, you cannot make the whole information and the whole knowledge about Egypt. Egypt is not only about the culture, Egypt is not only about the city breaks, but also Egypt is about fun and leisure and entertainment. Egypt is about diving, is about snorkeling, water sports, aqua parks. So all that you will find mostly in the seaside resorts, in the beach resorts in Sharm el Sheikh and the Hurghada. So I believe and I can claim that we have managed to introduce the beach resorts to the Indian market. We need for sure to increase this awareness, but for some extent I believe we have succeeded in that. One good result of that was increasing the length of stay in Egypt. So instead of staying average of 5 nights, I can see now the average is increasing to 7 nights plus per bags. This happened thanks to introducing this product. Another thing also, we are introducing the Holy Family trip for the Christian community. Not only for the Orthodox but also for the Catholic. This year, for the first time, the Pope Francis has praised the Holy Family route in Egypt, and now it's fully recognized by both Orthodox and Catholic. I believe it's one of our USPs to welcome to Egypt Jesus and his family for 3.5 years. All the spots are there and all the sites are there. I think it's also worth visiting. Also, Egypt is open for others, like meditation, spiritual. For Jewish, we have the place where Moses received the 10 Commandments. For Christians, we have the Holy Family route. For Muslims, we have lots of Maraqid Al Bayt, or the locations of Prophet Muhammad's family in Egypt, and also this attracts lots of Muslims from here. So Egypt is a kind of like a destination for every spiritual experience. Otherwise, Egypt is open for the luxury, and we also introduced this segment. We have now the golf resorts, we have the spa resorts introduced to the Indian market, and I believe it fits to the requirements of the Indians. For sure, the luxurious Nile cruises are there. So also for a luxury experience, Egypt has all the USPs. Otherwise, also we are introducing this year extensively the MICE business. We are launching lots of convention centers. One of them has been actually finished or accomplished this week only, of 311,000 square meters in Cairo, in New Cairo. Also, we have convention centers in Sharm el Sheikh of a capacity of 5,000 seats. We have hotels that can accommodate up to 3,000 bags. So we have this kind of facilities that can accommodate MICE business and incentive and exhibitions.
You have a lot to offer, as you said. So tell me, for first-time visitors, how many days you think should
Look,
plan for initially?
I mean, it's shocking a little bit, but to know about Egypt and to experience all about Egypt, you need at least 30 days. But let's summarize that into the fact that Egypt has three dimensions. One of them is the mainstream of Egypt, which is the Nile Valley, Cairo, Luxor, Aswan, Alexandria, the classic tour. This can take you up to 7 to 8 nights. Then you can have the seaside resort, which can take you as you like. You can stay there for 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. At the end of the day, it's a beach resort and you can relax there. You can enjoy diving, safari, scuba diving, water sports, aqua parks, different activities, and it can extend. The third,
You're talking of Hurghada and Sharm.
Hurghada and Sharm el Sheikh mainly, plus I mean they are the most important and the most famous two spots. Otherwise we have Marsa Alam, we have Taba, we have Nuweiba, we have Dahab, we have Sahl Hashish, Suma Bay, El Guna, different destinations. All of them are on the Red Sea. On the other hand, we have the desert, and to have a safari desert trip, you need 10 nights. So if I'm telling you 30 nights or 30 days, I'm not exaggerating. But otherwise, if you'd like to have the main spots of Egypt, I'd recommend you to have 9 nights. 3 of them will be Cairo and Alexandria. 3 of them will be a Nile cruise between Aswan and Luxor, and 3 of them will be in Hurghada, which is very near to Luxor, only 3 hours driving.
Now you have got a new logo, new campaign. So what is the idea behind that?
Actually, we have the same logo, but the campaign, the visuals has changed a little. We are focusing now on the experiences, on the vision of a tourist. What the tourist will see when in Egypt. We reduced for I mean far extent the retouches and the Photoshop. We try just to take the picture as it is, as the real it is, and then just give the comment of a guest on it. So mostly now we are focusing on reality rather than imaginary image about the destination. I believe it worked well, and over the last few months we have received good awards in that as well.
How much was the footfall last year, and what's your expectation this year?
I'm talking about this year only, 2017. We have received up to October, or till October, we have received increase of 35% compared to the same period of last year. We are expecting to exceed 1 lakh tourists this year, and if we are exceeding that, we are almost coming back to the same average of the numbers that we have achieved in 2010 before all the problems that happened in Egypt, or the revolution and all what happened after that. So we are recovering fully to the number of 2010 before the revolution by the end of this year, inshallah.
What is the security when you said all that now? So what is the impact of all that what have happened recently?
Okay, let me first differentiate two issues. There is a big difference between stability and security. Stability means that the government is able or unable to take the measures to secure its tourists. Then the security is what happens here or there. About the stability, Egypt has passed by some problems in 2011 and then the aftermath of that. This is all over. It's over because we had the parliament elected, the constitution adopted, the president elected, security came back again to fully cover the country, and we have upgraded all the security systems, including airport machines, including the equipments of the police, including CCTV systems in all tourist sites. So from the point of view of stability, Egypt is as stable as any other country, no problem. The aftermath of the revolution 2011 is over. On the other hand, if we are talking about the security, let me tell you frankly speaking, where else in the world there is 100% security? We are in that life where everybody and each person can harm anybody very easily. In that life, I think it's impossible to say that any kind of destination or any kind of a country is 100% secure. But what I'm telling you, what I'm stressing on, is that Egypt is keeping the highest level of security measurements taken against any other destination, and the result is that the last fresh accident against tourists is not in Egypt. So if you compare the last accident against tourists in Egypt compared to other destinations in Europe, in America, as a continent, Asia, Egypt is one of the oldest of them. So we are not a recent news in that regard.
Now, what is your strategy, marketing strategy in India?
First of all, we are working on different tracks, B2B and B2C. B2B, we still participate in exhibitions. We still do fam trips. We still do joint campaigns with travel agencies. We still do. We started this year actually to do the road shows, which is very important for us. We have started in last May with 4 cities. Ahmedabad, Bangalore, Mumbai and Delhi. In January we are planning to go to Pune, to Hyderabad, to Kolkata and to to Chennai. So we will be covering almost the main metros. Then we will go beyond to tier 2 and tier 3. I believe it was good tactic, because all the travel agencies, I mean the DMCs in Egypt who participated in the first roadshow are very interested and are very keen to participate in the second one, which means they got good response from the market. On the B2C, we still working on advertising campaign. We are doing special supplements in magazines. We push TV shows. We do competitions. We do festivals. So it's a package, you know. At the end of the day, we try to show our message like that. Egypt is safe. Egypt is accessible. Now we have Egypt Air is expanding their carrier from the narrow body to the wider body. Egypt is welcoming the guests. So now over the last few months, we have done the World Youth Forum, which was held under the auspices of His Excellency the President of Egypt, Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, in Sharm el-Sheikh. 3,000 delegates from across the world came to Sharm el-Sheikh to discuss the future of the world and the innovative ideas for sustainable development. This was a good forum, and I believe it added a lot to the positive impression about the destination. On the other hand, we have also received lots of celebrities, and this is one of the tactics that we use to give the indirect message about the destination, that it's fully open and fully safe. Now we have Nicolas Cage in Egypt. This year also we have received to Egypt Baraniti Chopra from India here. Lots of other celebrities like Will Smith, like Bob Francis, like Angela Merkel. Lots of them have been visiting Egypt. So this is a kind of also other tactic that we use. Other than that, we try to focus on the diversity and uniqueness of Egypt, to show that Egypt is one-stop shop for all those who are seeking for different experience out of their homeland.
Egypt is increasing the capacity. So
Correct.
how do you see it for the tourism? It's going to benefit you?
You mean Egypt Air?
Yeah.
Actually, we had an issue with the capacity, and I believe Egypt Air had taken that decision because they noticed that over the last few months, all the flights were fully booked. So even they were rejecting requests. So they had to increase the capacity because the business is increasing. You know, it's at the end of the day, the demand presses always the supply. I believe it's a good indicator. Over the last few months also we have received big incentive groups, 500 plus, and this gives the alert that the mindset of the Indians about Egypt is positively changing, and Indians are starting to look at Egypt as a fashionable destination, and I believe that day to day we are going to get more traffic, especially after penetrating the Bollywood segment.
Please tell our viewers about how many flights are there to Egypt, connectivity.
Egypt Air is flying 4 times a week from Mumbai. Other than that, all the Gulf countries are connecting Egypt. The distance is 5 hours and a half from direct flight from Mumbai to Cairo. Add to that 2 hours to 2.5 hours if you want to make a transit. So the average besides Egypt Air is around 8 hours, 7.5 hours to 8 hours from between the two destinations, which is not that big. Egypt so far is considered as a middle or as a medium haul destination. I hope that with more frequent flights from Egypt Air, and also we call on Air India to think about Egypt as one of its destinations. We call on Jet Airways to think about Egypt as a hub for its flights here. Other airliners, this is the time. We need more capacity because the demand is increasing. So it's a kind of a mutual benefit. So I believe it's coming.
What's about the domestic connectivity in Egypt?
We have connection between all the tourism destinations. We have airports in Cairo, in Alexandria, in Sharm el Sheikh, in Hurghada, in Luxor, in Aswan, in New Valley. So all the tourist destinations in Egypt are connected through good international level airports. So there is no problem. Egypt Air is flying. Besides the Egypt Air, there is Nile Air and Al Masriya Air also. So 3 airliners working domestically in Egypt. Otherwise, in case of big numbers want to fly, we can also operate charter flight in that regard. So this is also available. As the second or as the new trend for Indians, I believe most of the nearby destinations has been exhausted by the expert tourists here. So they need to go beyond. They need to rediscover other countries, and if they want to go beyond, Egypt should be on their top of the bucket list.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.